This one's for all you young people, the new grads out there in 2020 and beyond, and really anyone who's struggling to rebuild their career in a bad economy. I feel for you. I really do. See, because I graduated from college in 2009 during the Great Recession, and you might not be old enough to know this, but things were bad then. And you know what? Things are bad now. And I'm not even going to try to compare the two to see which one's worse. Just, they're just both horrible. And the worst part of all this is none of this is really your fault. It's completely out of your control. But what is in your control is how you react to this crisis and how you can get a piece of the rebound when things inevitably get better in a few years. A mentor once told me that anytime you're faced with great challenges, try to change your attitude towards things and see it as an opportunity. Try to watch this video with that mindset because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to thrive in this scenario. Because that's exactly what I did in 2009, but I did it accidentally. But you can do it with purpose. So here are the three things you need to do during a recession so that when it's over, you can start making the big bucks and land that dream job for yourself, whatever that is. Step one, the most important thing for you to focus on during a recession is your education. And you're going to say, duh, learning's always important. But I'm going to say, no, 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 no. You need to take it up 2 notches higher than that. Yes, learning is always important in your career. In fact, if you're not constantly learning in your career, you're doing something wrong. But learning always has a cost. You can either choose to spend your time learning or spend your time making money. And 99% of people will choose the money every time, especially in a recession. But you need to do the opposite. Here's why. The more money you make, the more expensive it is to learn, because your time is worth whatever you are getting paid hourly. And in times of recession, your earning power is limited. Thus, learning becomes more important. Let me give you a very concrete example. So I struggled to find a job out of college. I had sent my resume to maybe 100 places and I really wasn't having much luck. But somehow, at some point, I had 2 job offers in hand. One offer was from a big, well-respected company that I had interned with, and it had a great salary. The other offer was from this tiny, no-name company that offered me a salary that was less than what I would have made at my local fast food joint. But I had a gut feeling to go with this small company, and it was one of the greatest career decisions of my life. In hindsight, here's why. So the big company was this fancy company that I would have been super proud to tell all my schoolmates I worked there. The problem was it was a big company. And all these things you hear about big companies are true. You're going to be working on massive teams and you're just going to be this small cog in a big machine with a very specialized role. And I knew this in my heart, and I had also interned there too. The small company, on the other hand, was different. They asked me all sorts of questions during the interview, and they gave me all these challenges all over the spectrum. So in one interview, they gave me a data set and asked me to analyze it and find all the problems with it. And in another interview, they asked me to give a 10-minute presentation to the leadership team. Now, all of this was a lot to ask for from a new graduate, but it gave me the feeling that they were really looking for well-rounded individuals to help in a variety of ways. And that's exactly how the job went. Sure, I was living with my mom and making pennies by Silicon Valley standards, but I was learning. And I was learning things that I would never learn at any big company because no big company would trust these decisions to a new grad. Never. And to this day, I've never learned so much in a job position before. So lesson one is to prioritize learning at all costs. And I realize this might not be easy for you. Like, your mom might not even want you to live with her. But the point is, you need to make sacrifices to learn. And sure, your friends might be working at fancier companies and living in nicer apartments, but you gotta swallow your pride and just do it. Because we're playing the long game here. We're playing chess, not checkers. Step two, expose yourself to the biggest variety of industries and technologies as possible. Whenever there's a great shock to the economy, either through a market crash, a pandemic, or whatever, new industries will be accelerated while other titans of the industry will unexpectedly fall. You see it happening right now. For example, the travel industry will never be the same again. On the flip side, things like Netflix, video games, and home delivery are killing it. Every industry, in one way or another, will be impacted. And this was so true for me in 2009 and beyond in ways I didn't even realize. So my official job title was to be a data analyst at this company of about 50 people. And there were a number of young people at this company. maybe 20 people under the age of 25. And I remember at some point a marketing position opened up, and the leadership team encouraged everyone to apply, but no one did. I was the only one. And I had no idea if I'd like this position. It was a new boss, a new team, and I was already doing pretty well at my current role, and there was really no reason to change. But I did, and I got the job, and I started a brand new career in a brand new industry where everything I had worked so hard to already learn was irrelevant. But that position exposed to me a whole new world of technologies that I would have never learned otherwise. And when another position opened up later on the operations team, I took that too. And I do one more jump later onto the engineering team. And at this point, I was starting to get a really good feel of what industries and what technologies were hot and what was not. And I distinctly remember having so many conversations with my friends who were working at these bigger, fancier companies, making double my pay, but they had such a limited view of the overall market because they had deadlocked themselves in this limited role. So I realized, wow, maybe this whole learning thing is good. I was still making money and living with my mom, but at least I felt like I was starting to learn about business. And even though another company came along and offered me double my pay, I turned it down. I continued living with my mom. I love you, mom, because I felt like this was a good investment learning so much about so many different industries. Now, I was lucky because I got all these opportunities on the job, which might not be the same for you. Now, I might argue that you are getting these opportunities, you're just not opening your eyes to them. But the point is, you just got to stay curious. Now we fast forward to step 3, the final step. So the market is finally starting to pick up. Unemployment is down and the stock market is up. And all this time you've been living in your mom's basement, sponging as much information as possible on as many things as possible. Now is the time to cash in. The final step is to find a new job. And this is not even a one-time thing. Every couple years, you need to job hop and find a new job. Because all this time you've been extremely underpaid while amassing a ton of knowledge. And with this knowledge, you should have learned 2 very important things. The first is what industries are hot and are likely to succeed at the end of the recession. The second, and this is so important, is what industries are you personally interested in? Believe me, you don't want to be in your 30s or 40s one day and wonder how you let yourself get stuck in this industry that's dead to you and brings you no joy. I imagine the feeling is like marrying someone who you do not love, and all of a sudden you have kids with them, you've got a mortgage, and you share all the same friends, but you're stuck. But I have no idea what this feeling is like because I love my wife, and marrying her was the best thing I ever did. And I know she no longer watches my YouTube videos, but I hope she watches this one. Anyway, back to my main point. So now you're underpaid and you have to change companies because no company will ever give you this sudden massive raise to get you in line with your market value. The only way to do this is to change companies. So buy your boss a nice present and try to leave on good terms. At your new company, you're suddenly making a lot more money. You can move out of your mom's basement. You should buy your mom a nice present. And you're going to continue on this learning journey because a new company means new learning. And in 2 years, as the markets continue to rise, you're again going to find a new job and you're going to cash out. And you're going to continue doing this every 2 years or so until the market starts to flatten and you're making a great salary. For me, I did all this accidentally. I kept getting new jobs with big raises, and all of a sudden I found myself at my dream company in my dream job with a great salary. And now I look back and I'm like, boy, did I get lucky. And so now with you, you know the formula now. And now you don't need as much luck, but you do need to put in the work. And you know what I always say, if I can do it, you can too. It isn't always about talent, but it is about putting in the work, investing in yourself, and playing the long game. And so I hope you follow this advice, and 10 years down the line, you look back and you know in your heart that you did a good job and you maximize whatever talent you had. And maybe then you'll also share your story and help other young people succeed. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe, and good luck on your journey.